Hi everyone, it's Miss Smith here. I am going to talk you through some stuff for this research task that I have just set you. I'm going to start by going through the timeline with you. Then I will talk you through some of the PowerPoint slides I've put up as well. Please feel free to pause this video at any point, to repeat it, to watch it again. I'm hoping this will help you a little bit more than just giving you the documents because it's quite a lot to read through, okay? So let's take a little look at this research timeline. Now you've been assigned a copy of this and you should also see it on the screen there. It is an independent learning task. It is something that's good to practice because you will have to do one yourself for National Modern Studies. And actually, you'll have something similar to this for National History or Geography or RMPS as well, so it is good practice. I'm going to make myself available online every Tuesday from 2 o'clock and every Thursday from 2 o'clock, specifically to answer your questions on this. So I won't be marking other work unless nobody needs help. I won't be in other classes. It'll be you guys, and my third years are doing a slightly more challenging version of this as well. So overall, the stuff I'm about to set you should take you about 3 weeks worth of modern studies class time. So that means about 9 periods. I'm going to give it over to you, so if you want to do it all in one go, that's totally up to you. If you want to split it up over the 3 weeks, that's fine as well. So first things first, all I'm going to ask for you by the end of this week, is I'm going to ask you to have looked at the advantages and disadvantages of different kinds of sources. Now, I'm going to show you on the PowerPoint in a moment what I mean by that. You also need to do the stuff on primary and secondary differences, okay? That's all I'm asking minimum by this coming Friday, and I will be checking in on everyone and seeing how they're doing. What I've done here is give you a column where you can get information, so what might help you, and what kind of things you can do to help yourself. It is then the Easter holidays. I know we'll still be inside. I will be online, but I'm not going to be on all day, every day like I have been during the school week because it is the Easter holidays, guys. But I will try and check my emails every day or every other day. So if I check it on Monday, I'll check it on the Wednesday for you. When we come back, I want you to have picked a modern studies topic you want to research. Now, this isn't something that I want to research. It's not something that you think Miss Smith wants to read about. It is something linked to modern studies that you are interested in. So you pick a topic and you create a question. So, for example, how many political parties are there in the UK? Or are prisons really good at helping criminals? Okay, a question that you should be able to prove or disprove. So you should be able to either say yes or no, right or wrong to it. And you'll identify 2 kinds of sources that can help you. A source is somewhere you get information, so a newspaper, book, video clip, documentary, survey, interview, things like that. And then in the third week, you've got to be able to explain 2 sources that you have used. Tell me why they're good, tell me why they're bad. You need to tell me what you found out from your research. So I found out this, I also found out this, and then you need to make a conclusion. So overall, prisons are good. I know this because my research told me this, this, and this. Okay? Now at the bottom here, I have put a little bit of a description. For those of you looking for challenge, particularly if you're aiming for level 4, there is a chance that you can write this up and test yourself, which gives you practice for 3rd year and 4th year. On your AVU booklet, so this is another document that you should have assigned to you. This is where I want you to write all of your answers, okay? If you're doing it in your jotter or on paper, that is completely fine, okay? But use this to help you kind of structure what you're doing, okay? If you can. If you can't, please don't panic. But don't go writing it on random Google Docs. Keep it here all together. So within the 3 weeks, this is your success criteria, folks. You need a question you are going to research. I'm not doing it for you. 2 aims. Now, an aim is something you want to find out. So I want to find out why prisons are good. I want to find out what help is available in prisons. I want to find out how many people go back to prison when they've been released. Okay, so it's something to find out. You need at least 2 different sources of information. So you can't just use the internet, that can be one, but you need to find something else. If, for example, you have found a prison report and then a BBC News article, those are 2 different things, even though they're on the internet. If you're not sure, ask me. You then need to explain why your sources are good and why they might be bad. So this source might be good because it's really up to date and it's from a good journalist who's really truthful. However, this one might be bad because it's from 15 years ago and it doesn't mention Scotland, it's only talking about Wales, okay? And finally, answer your question, your conclusion. In this booklet, I'm not going to talk through this bit by bit in the video, I've broken it down into the lessons. So for example, over lesson 1 and 2, you should do what is mentioned here, okay? You'll be able to read your own version and you can put your answers in the box. In lesson 3, you should be doing this, okay? And again, just type your answers on the sheet. So I'm splitting it all up for you to help you manage your time. Okay, and I've left lots of space for answers, so don't worry. In lesson 4, again, I've given you some help there, and I'm giving you some tips on what to write for what research methods you're using. And then lesson 5 and 6, again, I'm telling you some helpful hints and tips, okay? So I'm going to talk through a quick PowerPoint just now. This is probably a good place to pause if you want to get yourself a drink or to get yourself sorted. You can skip some of this if you feel confident, please don't worry, but I know a lot of you had questions. So let me start this PowerPoint. I'm going to have a drink as well. Miss Smith's doing a lot of talking today. Okay, so I've created this to take you through what you need to do step by step. For those of you that are interested, okay, these are the levels and outcomes you could be working at. I would be hoping all of you, or most of you, are aiming for level 3, if not attempting to try level 4, okay? Some of you will be on level 2, and that is okay as well. I really don't mind. It's about looking after yourself. Now, this also uses lots of literacy outcomes, okay? I'm going to put a separate document up that describes the different literacy outcomes. So that means we're using some skills you would use in English. Now, the good thing about this is if you do really good in it, I can share it with English to say, look, I've got evidence of this pupil working so well on some of their outcomes, okay? So there is a separate document that will tell you which one you sit in, and you should be able to tell yourself what ones you can do. Now, you do have a copy of this PowerPoint to read as well, but I'm going to take you through at my pace, so feel free to pause, to stop if you need time to read anything. So, firstly, we need to understand the kind of sources we can use to research, describing advantages and disadvantages, and explaining why these sources are helpful. One of the tasks I'm getting you to do is create a mind map of how you can research. So think about all the different things you can do to research. What might you use? What might you not use? What might be really bad? What do you have to think about, okay? So if you're doing the task along with this, pause the video now and give that a go. If not, we're going to move on. When you're researching, you've got to think about how you're researching effectively. What is it you are researching? Why? And how can we find the best evidence? You can't just say, oh, well, Miss Smith says this, so she must be right. Now, I'm usually right because I do my research. You also need to think about what you're putting into Google or the search engine that you're using. Don't just put in a long question. Think about what keywords you can input. Think about how you can get the answer to the question. The first task I've got you to do during lesson 1 and 2 is thinking about where we get information, what's good about these sources and what's bad. Now, it says here, copy it into your jotter. That's if you're doing it on paper. I have given you an electronic copy as well. You need to think of 5 different sources where we might get information from. You need to give at least one reason why this source might be good, one reason why it might be bad. Then, at the end of that, what I would like you to do is rank those 5 sources. Number 1, so that's what's going in your how useful column. Number 1, which is most useful? Like, what is going to be the best, most reliable, most trustworthy source? And 5, which one might be okay, but could be really rubbish. I've given you 3 suggestions of sources here. You do not have to use these. You can come up with 5 of your own. Sources are anywhere you get information. Newspapers, websites, YouTube videos, documentaries. It could be a Netflix documentary, depending on what your topic is. Interviews, surveys that you've created. I'm going to do a lesson later in the week on how to make a survey if anyone's interested in that. Talking to people, writing to an MP, a Member of Parliament, or an MSP, a Member of Scottish Parliament, writing to the prison service if you're doing something on prisons. There's loads and loads of different sources. Now, this is an optional task. If you're not sure what you're interested in, these are some ideas of what you could do a research topic on. And I would like you, if you want to do this, to rank them in order. The top one is the one you're most interested in. The one at the bottom, you're not really bothered about. It might be, if you're choosing to do this, that you only do 3 or 4 and you realise that it's something in those 3 or 4, and that's okay too. Okay, so we've looked at advantages, disadvantages, and why these are helpful. By the way, if you see a blank slide, it is meant to be blank. I've deliberately done that for you. The next part of the lessons is deciding on your topic. Choose what you are interested in. Now, these are different kinds of modern studies topics that we look at throughout our time at school. It doesn't have to be something on this slide, but I'm trying to help you narrow down what you might be interested in. If in doubt, my best suggestion is try and pick a topic area. So for example, crimes in prisons, because it's the first one on the slide. You might then come up with a list of questions you would like to know the answer to about crime in prisons. That can help us narrow it down. Okay. Then here you've got the option to create a list of 3 questions you might be interested in researching. So prisons, you might be interested in, I want to know how effective prisons are. So my question would be, how effective are UK prisons? How many people go back to prison multiple times? Is there a better punishment we could have than prisons? Okay, that's 3 questions you could do a whole research project on. Hopefully that makes sense, but let me know if it doesn't. I then need you to pick one clear question, okay? 1. Then create a list of everything you want to know. Okay, you want to know if prisons in the UK are good. What do you need to know to help answer that question? Do you need to know what prisons are like? What differences they've made in the past few years? How prisoners get help? What life's like after prison? Do you need numbers or statistics or information? What kind of things do you need? Have a think about the sources that might give you best information. Do you need to pay attention to who wrote it? For example, if you've got an article or a blog post and it's written by someone who's just been in prison, is that going to be biased or exaggerated? So you need to think about that. I then want you to create 2 aims for your topic. These should start with the words to find out, and I've given you some examples there. Again, you can pause the video if you want to have a proper read of that. And I want you to have a little think about the challenges you might face in this task. Okay. I'm then going to come back and do a survey lesson with you. So I'm going to skip through the next few slides. Please don't panic. I will hopefully post this midweek for you. That is my aim, so that you can have a go at creating a survey if you would like to. So I'm going to skip this, which is totally fine. This is the next bit. You need to do research. I can't do that for you. I can help you, I can guide you, but I want you as best as possible to see how much you can do independently. It is okay to get stuck. It is okay to not be sure, but I want you to give it a go. You're then going to try writing it up. And when I say write it up, it's using that document that I have already showed you, which is hopefully this one. Miss Smith's got the correct document. Excellent. So there's going to be that as well for you there. Now, I did forget to open one document, so bear with me whilst I find this. I've got so many things at the moment. It would help Miss Smith if she'd gotten this. Don't worry, I can't find it. I'm being silly. There might be another booklet assigned to you. If that is the case, please don't panic. That booklet basically has a written version of what I'm telling you just now, but I know some people prefer reading, some people prefer listening, some might prefer using read write to go through the document. It's totally up to you. That's pretty much a crash course in your research project. Don't panic. Take your time with it. It's having a go. The reason we're doing this in second year is if you start in second year, you'll learn from any mistakes when we do one in the third year, which means by the time you come to fourth year, you will be writing excellent research projects because you'll have figured out what you're good at or what you're struggling with. So please don't worry if you make a mistake. It's all about learning. Keep me updated with your progress and I will be checking in with you all. Give it your best go and I'll see you soon.